Jeff, just kind of take us through the thought process on selecting Jayce with the 25th overall pick.
Well, it's funny, we actually brought Jayce in to look at with the 16th pick. And so, throughout the process, you never know how these drafts are going to go. There have obviously been some big surprises tonight. And, we kind of had our fingers crossed that we had heard that, a couple teams didn't have visits or, were looking at different positions. So, we were wondering if he could get into our range. And here we are. This is how the draft works, right? It's all a matter of, what teams need what position, what they're looking for. And Jayce, for us, fits a lot of needs because he's an excellent shooter. He's one of the lowest mistake players in the whole draft. And, he's about, 6 feet, 6'1", but he's got a 6'6" wingspan. And most importantly, he's an incredible young guy, and he's got a great feel for the game. So, we look forward to indoctrinating him and having him down here and making him part of the team.
Jamal, what stands out to you about Jayce Richardson, and where do you see him fitting in the future?
Well, the young man that he is, his toughness, his basketball IQ. He's a guy that can knock down shots, not afraid of moments. His family history of who and what he comes from, I think is just such an important piece. Getting down here, get him on the court, get him around our guys, just getting ready to get to work. And I think that's going to be a big key piece for us, for him.
Yeah, back here, all the way back here. What's going on? This is for either of y'all, because Jayce played for the great Tom Izzo. And to get on that court with the Spartans, you have to play defense. So how much of a factor did that go into selecting him, knowing that just to even see the floor as a freshman, he had to get it on the defensive end too?
Well, he's been coached hard his whole life, and I think that's a big piece of who he is and what he's capable of doing. Good on-ball defender, positional defender, understands what he needs to do and how he needs to play. Again, he's up for the challenge in whatever we ask him to do. But his ability to have that IQ and understand what it takes to get on the court is a big-time start.
Jeff?
This is a text that I received before the draft from Tom Izzo, from Coach Izzo. He's a great person, a better teammate, a great player, a better teammate in person. He has the quality many don't have anymore, high basketball IQ, and winning is very important to him. So that's coming from the coach that you were talking about.
Jeff, you've had a couple weeks to sit with the Desmond Bane trade and what that may or may not have done to change the team. How did that time, as you began kind of reassessing your options at this pick without having 16, how much did that change the approach or change what you were looking to do with this pick?
It's a great question. We had a lot of discussions about that. The timeline and is this the time to pick a developmental player? We didn't want to sacrifice, a quality player, a quality person just to put somebody on the court. And we kind of felt Jayce was the intersection of all those things, because he's such a smart player. He's an excellent shooter, which obviously, was one of our missions to set out on the summer. And again, I have to say, we felt that when we moved 16 in the trade for Dez, that we were going to be looking at a new group of players, and largely we were, but we brought Jayce in to look at 16, and so ultimately, I guess that part of it worked out well.
Jayce said throughout the pre-draft that he was utilized more at the that he was utilized more at the 2, but he wanted to showcase teams that he could play the 1. What did you see from him in that sort of aspect of him playing at either position, and how valuable does that make his selection, knowing that coach could probably put him in at either guard position?
Yeah, well, look, that remains to be seen. That's up to Jet to prove, and obviously he comes in as the 25th pick on a team that's been in the playoff the last couple of years. He's going to have to earn everything he gets. But, again, the interesting thing about Jayce is for a guy who really carried a huge part of their offense and had to generate shots for himself and for others, next to no mistakes. The guy is a very easy ball mover. He's a quick decision maker. He's got a crafty way to finish around the rim. Obviously, being lefty helps a little bit probably, and just really loves basketball. You know, he's very passionate about it. He's a relentless worker. And as you guys were talking about earlier, you don't play for Tom Izzo if you don't rebound and defend. You know, so he's a fighter. So all those things kind of rolled in, and you know, that's why we were excited about him.
This is a question for either of you. You know, this pick follows a trend and a pattern that you guys have had over the last few years, taking players that have had family members also in the league. What kind of value does that bring? Jamal, you talked a little bit about the family history, so could you maybe open a little bit more about that?
I think you get the history of what they've done, where they've been, understanding the game. I think players that have, you know, family history of basketball players within it is there's a higher basketball IQ. Understanding the game, the love of the game, you fall in love with it a little bit more because you've been around it for a long time, and your work ethic, you've seen what it takes to get to that level, and I think that's very important. But the family dynamic is huge, just the way we've created the environment here, from top to bottom.